Okay, let's get to something exciting now, adding a character into our scene. So then we can actually, in our game screen, see what our terrain looks like. So for this, I'm actually just using the standard asset character. I'm going to be looking at using the third person character today. So just in my standard asset folder, which is a free download that comes with Unity once you've imported it all in. If I open up, you can see that I've got some different folders that I've brought in. And we're going to be looking at the characters today. You do have first person here, but I am partial to the third person with Ethan. So once again, you've got many different folders in here. You've got your animation, you've got your animator, your materials, your models, your prefabs, your scripts, and your textures. Now, the really important thing to remember with Unity is if there is a prefab, that is what you want to use. The prefab is a little package that includes the 3D model, scripts, materials, textures, and any other thing that you want within your character. So if I was just to put a model on right now, if I dragged the model of Ethan on into the scene, he's not going to do anything. So if I double click to see where he is right now, as you can see, he's just standing there. He's a 3D model. If I was to hit play, I couldn't control him. He would not be moving. He would not be doing anything. He'd just be a 3D model just standing there. So we don't want to just use the model. We want to use the prefab. So if I go into my prefab folder, you've got an AI third person and you've got just your third person. We don't want the artificial intelligence third person. We as the user want to control our third person. So we're going to be using this third person controller. So I'm going to drag and drop Ethan in here right now. I do need to make sure, so using my W key, I need to make sure that he is on the ground. We don't want him to be floating above for any reason. So using W key to position him there, I could use my E key to rotate if I needed, but I'm pretty happy with placement right there. If I wanted to make him bigger, I could scale him over in my inspector window, but just be mindful that if I scale him up and he's already got these parameters with this capsule around him, that will stuff things up. So best to keep him at the scale that he is, and it just means that the terrain is extra large for him to explore as well. So with my third person in here, if I was to play the game right now, so if I hit play, and you're looking down in my game screen here, you can see that Ethan has started to move, but in my gameplay, like I can move him around and he's walking and doing whatever he needs. I can't see anything in my gameplay. This is because we need to script for a camera to follow Ethan. Once that camera is following him, then your gameplay here will display everything that Ethan does. So I'm just going to turn off my play, and that's another really important reminder. If I kept it in play mode and made any changes here, as soon as I turned it off, everything would go back to how it was before. So make sure you turn off play, don't just pause it. So with my Ethan here and my main camera, I'm actually going to delete the main camera off, and I'm going to bring in a camera from the standard asset. So I'm going to bring in, once again, whoops, wrong folder. I need to go into my prefabs. I'm just going to bring in a multi-purpose camera. I'm just going to drag and drop it in. It doesn't really matter where I've put it, but down in my inspector window, you can see right here, it has an AutoCam script already attached to it because it's a prefab. And there is an option here called target, and the target is nothing at the moment. So I'm going to go up to my hierarchy. I'm going to click and hold. So whilst I'm holding, I'm going to drag my third person controller down and I'm going to dump it into that window. So once that has been set, if I was to hit play now, this goes straight to where Ethan is. And as you can see, I'm using my arrow keys now to control Ethan around my gameplay. And you can see that that camera is really nicely, smoothly following him. I can see my trees, I can see my textures, and I can see my mountains.